male college students at Princeton University participated in studies of how the male brain reacts to seeing people in different amounts of clothing. Brain scans revealed that when men are shown pictures of scantily clad women, the region of the brain associated with tools such as screwdrivers and hammers lit up. Some men showed zero brain activity in the medial prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that lights up when one ponders another person's thoughts, feelings, and intentions. Researchers found this shocking because they almost never see this part of the brain shut down in this way. And a Princeton professor said, it's as if they're reacting to these women as if they are not fully human. It's consistent with the idea that they are responding to these photographs as if they were responding to objects, not people. In a separate Princeton study, when men viewed images of women in bikinis, they often associated with first-person action verbs, such as I push, I grab, I handle. But when they saw images of women dressed modestly, they associated them with third-person action verbs, such as she pushes, she grabs. Analysts at the National Geographic concluded that bikinis really do inspire men to see women as objects, as something to be used rather than someone to connect with. So, it seems that wearing a bikini does give a woman power, the power to shut down a man's ability to see her as a person, but rather as an object.
It's the book of 1 Timothy 2:9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array. Shalom, shalom. First off, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Yahweh be the true name for the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai be the name for His only begotten Son, who the world eagerly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that taught us truth and will well. It's salutations to you, hopefully they push this truth and honesty and sincerity. It's Brother Yahweh Sat, because you know this is Spirit Power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It's another in-transit lesson through the Spirit. What you just seen in that video gives you a more of a biological take on the importance and the purpose of this scripture. Okay? Because here in Babylon the Great, which is also known as America today, this is the new Babylon the Great, the new Egypt. Okay, you have a brainwashed society in which Esau, the devil, the so-called white man, has created these social standards via his media, his television, and his music that he's pushed out upon this country, that women get respect by dressing in less clothing and having a nicer body. Now, nothing wrong with having a good figure. You should have a good figure. You should be fit for your future husband or your current husband. You know, but they teach, basically put it out there as propaganda that you showing that off gives you respect. And because you cause heads to turn when you're in public and people look at you, it gives you a feeling of power. When you have the ability to shut many men down that are taking their shot, as we say, to try to get with you, it gives you a feeling of power to say no. You know, to get that type of attention. And you have been deceived. That is a demonic spirit that's a spell, a literal spell that has been cast upon all women in this nation. You know? And this scripture makes it very clear. Adorn. When you go into the word adorn, you look up the definition, it goes into respect. You're taught in this society that you respect yourself by what? Dressing less and turning heads, getting a lot of attention, what type of clothing you wear, what type of lingerie you own or wear. How many men think that you're sexy and want to be with you? Your beauty. You're taught that that's respect. No, you get respect by adorning yourself in what? Modest apparel. And modest apparel goes into being covered. Your figure is not seen. Now, it's one thing if you are an Israelite woman or just a woman with big curves. You know, it may be difficult to hide that. But nonetheless, you should have a dress on that covers most of your body for the most part. You shouldn't have, be out here with your chest all out, man. This new fashion trend, every woman now wants to wear yoga pants. Every single woman is walking around in yoga pants. Oh, they're comfortable. That's not your sole reason of wearing them. Okay, you like the way that it hugs your hips and it squeezes your thighs, it presses against your ass. You like the way it looks in the mirror. A lot of you, before you leave, you stand in front of that full body mirror and you look to see how what looks. Your butt. That is not to be seen. That's supposed to be covered up with a dress. I'm not talking like a sundress that can be form-fitting to your body to where a man can look at you and see your ass cheeks shaking back and forth and see your cooch print either. That's not modest. Okay? You should have something underneath that dress covering your figure. Should not be lusted after, seen to the point it can be lusted after. Okay? You should be dressing like some, I'm gonna say all, like some of the indigenous Native American women dressed when they wore that long, fringed out, deer leather clothing with the fringes, and they had everything covered up. Their arms was covered up, their body. They had that long skirt from that outfit with the moccasins. That is how you should be dressed. Okay, or let's take a look at another part of the world. When the Israelites living in Africa, in Ghana, Nigeria, all right, with those full body dresses that they wear, they have a lot of colors and they would have head wraps on. That is another good example of how you should be dressed. Okay. Or even, let's get another example from another part of the world. Some of the Chinese, how their women dress. They wore those long, real pretty, colorful flower print, or sometimes crane printed outfits. Lilies and different things on that. Silk woven, long dresses covered their figure. That's another example of modest apparel, how you should be dressed. But in America, it's opposite. You're told to go out in yoga pants, go out and walk in public in a sports bra, running in the street in the neighborhood in bras, and skin tight booty shorts that you buy from Fabletics. Now you see the psychological aspect of the toll it takes on a man when he is looking at you. He is looking at you for sex. You are a tool. This is a sex tool. That's it. You're not looked at any other importance. You're not looked at any type of other respect at all. You're looked at as straight up a prostitute. Something that he can take. Something that a lot of men do. Something that they can rape. Women, you go out in these clubs. You go clubbing with the girls. You get drunk. You make dumb decisions and you walk it by yourself home. You get women get snatched up and they're wearing that type of clothing. Okay? So now you see the biological standpoint on it. It's not just something that men are creating, to be unfair or being tyrants in society. No, it's a real biological reason for it, which is why the Lord put a commandment for it. You to be covered. You are to be covered. Your hair, should be covered. Why? Because if you have a husband, that is a direct reflection of your husband, is how your hair is kept. You having long hair, the scriptures say, is glory unto her husband. So if that belongs to your husband's and that's his glory, are you supposed to give that to another man? Or any man that's walking by? No, you are not. You're supposed to have a head covering on. And also, for a good common sense standpoint, the scripture says in law that a woman is not to pray with her head uncovered. So with that said, what if you have to say a quick prayer and you're out unplugged it somewhere? You don't have no head wrap on. You praying and you sinning. You're supposed to pray with your head covered. A man is not to cover his head. Another biological standpoint, from a man, when he sees a woman, sometimes the first thing that catches his attention, first he's going to look at if it's a front view and she's wearing modest dress, he's going to look at her face. He's going to see if she has beauty. That's why you should have a veil. Okay? But if you don't have a veil, okay, cool. When I say be over righteous here, if you're a beautiful woman, you're born that way, you're beautiful. But hey, the next thing he's looking at is your hair. And a man will quickly question and inquire about your hair. Very quickly. He will ask, how long is your hair? So it shouldn't be seen. But why? Because a man fantasizes and desires to have a woman's hair flowing when he's cuddled up with her. He wants to feel her hair on his chest. Okay, it's just like a baby, an infant. I forget the word for this type of feeling that's called. But when a baby is swaddled, okay, it gets a certain level of relaxation and comfort to where it is now able to fall asleep. It has that same effect from a man that's dealing with a woman and she has beautiful long hair. This is why there's another law as well. During times of war, if the Israelites were to go into the other nation where they went to war against, and they would take concubines or take wives because they killed men and those wives were left, there's laws on taking those women. And if they were to take their women, what they had to do is the women would have to cut the nails, pare their nails, and shave their heads, because their hair belongs to that previous man, and you have to give them a certain amount of time to mourn their husband, and then they would take them as wives. So a short-haired woman is a shameful thing. That's why you got a lot of these promiscuous nigger women walk around here with weave on, and their hair is always falling out, because you lived your life as an adulteress. So the Lord took your glory away. Okay? So even the hair should be covered, man. We got more scriptures on your attire. 1 Corinthians 11:6, for if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. Right, man. You might as well be shorn. You might as well be bald head if you out here and you uncovered. It's a disgrace. It's a shameful thing to be uncovered. It says, but if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. Right. So if it's a shameful thing to you and you wouldn't like that, then your ass should be covered. Should be covered up, man. Okay? It's the book of Proverbs 6:25. It says, lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. So men shouldn't be out here able to do this with you. And you're causing that sin when you walk out there like that. Exposed, naked, form-fitting clothing, or very limited amount of clothing. You're causing this lust for men having lust after your beauty in their heart. Neither let her take thee with her eyelids. It's another thing. those long ass fake eyelids you put on, that goes into the custom that was done during the time of the Romans and the Greeks and earlier, even all the way to Babylon. Women would make fake eyelashes and put them on their eyelids. Why? Because the women that did that, they were prostitutes. And they would literally, excuse my French, but hey, straight up, they were giving men head. So they were sucking dick. And when a man would ejaculate, some men would ejaculate, and the semen would get in their eyes. So the purpose of the long eyelashes is basically a literal shield. It may sound funny or crazy, but look it up. It's true, man. They were shields for their eyeballs from getting semen in their eyes. So, what's up with the fake eyelashes, man? That's what you want to be represented of? Verse 26, for by means of a whorish woman, a man is bought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Right, man? These whorish women that live that lifestyle and dress that way, there's agendas that they have. They want something. They want to seek to take advantage of these men out here. And they don't have any real capability of giving true love because they've had too many partners. They can't connect with nobody. They become mentally 100% prostitutes that think that they're not prostitutes. It's all twisted and fucked up, man. Okay? Get another scripture here. Jeremiah 4:30. And when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou closest thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou enrichest thy face with painting, in vain shalt thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee, they will seek thy life. Written thy face with the painting. Okay, that goes into makeup. That's another custom of prostitutes. When a woman has multiple men, okay, her skin begins to blemish. Her thighs begin to rot. She begins to get something called cellulite. Okay, her breasts begin to sag. Body doesn't get as tight. You begin to break out with acne. Why? Because you got all this DNA from all these men in your body. That's another thing biologically has been proven. Men retain the DNA of every man that they slept with. That semen goes inside your vagina and then connects into your cells and goes all the way and is stored in your central nervous system. And you begin to take on the personalities, literal personalities and behaviors begin to be programmed in your brain. Why? Because when a man takes a woman to become one flesh, that's marriage. And a woman is supposed to be one with the man and operate the way he moves and think the way he thinks and be with his program. So the Lord set up that way. You begin to take on literal mental attributes of your husband. So what happens when you have 30, 40 bodies on you? Imagine how many of those personalities are mixed. Then you find yourself always arguing and fighting with every partner you get with. Why? You got too much shit embedded into you, man. Not to mention the STDs. And your countenance begins to become disfigured. You begin to have something called a resting bitch face. Your face gets like little hail damages, shit, dents and all types of shit in it from the makeup and from all the diseases and the chemical imbalances. You get acne. So the women would try to hide all of these blemishes with makeup as a deception to show how beautiful they are. That's where that custom comes with. Now, if you have a good spirit and you're a truly beautiful woman, you shouldn't need that damn makeup. And that's nothing but poison you're putting on your face anyway. Your skin becomes to develop an addiction to the shit. And when you don't put it on, you begin to have issues. So in vain thou shalt make thyself fair, thy lovers will despise thee, they will seek thy life. Right, man. They will seek your life. Why? Because you begin to live a certain lifestyle to where the jealousy is the rage of a man. He catches you talking to other men, which you're not going to be able to help because you're spoiled. And then he wants to kill you. Or your lovers really are men that are seeking prostitutes that they can pimp. seeking your life that way. So all of these things, you need to follow the scriptures. They're all here for a reason. They're not here to oppress you. There is an order. You're supposed to have a man over you, and it's supposed to be a righteous man. You're supposed to be right in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Shai. You should be dressing modestly, being covered, being shaved-faced, being humble, being discreet, submissive, focusing on cooking, cleaning, simple things, man. Working with your hands, knowing how to sew, knowing how to grow gardens, having certain skills that can complement your husband. Okay? So now you see, man, that's a heavy, quick clip that came out there. That study is powerful because everything is edifying and eventually shows the scriptures to be true and gives you proof of how true they are, how real it is. So with that, Lord's will says is edifying. We're going to close out. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, great millstone, Natasha's truth and will well. And salutations to you, hopefully, that person is truth and honesty, sincerity. Shalom.